Happy Self Love Sunday. I am Tarnisha Moe Sass, your host of Self Love Sundays with Sass, where we come every single Sunday so we can talk about all the ways in which we can better our best. How about we are in May? I don't know about you, but I feel like time is flying. Okay, it is just flying, and I'm just coming here. Listen, we just gonna have a conversation. Like I just feel like we need to have a conversation. This Sunday, I really wanted to talk about something that I've been noticing a lot of lately, and that is more and more people being in survival mode, like more than ever. And I get it. Like I'm on social media just like everybody else. I'm on TikTok just like everybody else. I laugh because TikTok is like my little addiction. We're not gonna talk about it. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, so I see all the things and I understand what the world can feel like and what it can show you. But it's like it's it's always been a thing, but I feel like it's just plaguing us more and more. So I wanted to talk about it. And for those of you who don't know what survival mode refers to a state where a person's focus is primarily on immediate survival needs, food, shelter, safety, basic psychological requirements, right? So in this mode, people often experience heightened stress, fear, anxiety, um, as because their primal goal is just to meet these essential needs, right? And it's interesting because I noticed. Now, listen, let me just tell y'all right now, because I don't want to hear it. Okay, I started off as a 322 a month welfare mom. I get it. I was a teen mom. So when I speak, I'm not speaking just necessarily from where I sit today, but I can actually go back and even understand survival mode. And why I want to talk about it is because it particularly plagues my community, not necessarily because we're going to go without, it's because that's how we were raised. And more, I'm talking to more and more, particularly women, and not that my men aren't experiencing stress, it's just my target audience, my is typically women. And it's this need of, I'm the head of the household, I got to take care of the kids, our parents are getting older, right? Those who are late bloomers, boomers, I'm sorry, are getting older. So this constant need of like stress and anxiety over, I got to do this, I got to do that. I'm the head of the household. I got to do this. I got to do that. And if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. And the hard part of all of this is the one thing that I'm about to say to you right now. Being in survival mode, I want to say this right because I know what the internet is going to do. I'm just going to say this. We have other choices. That's the best way I can say it. Like, we have other choices, y'all. We don't always have to live in this constant state of stress. And it's particularly if you're a believer, we're not even supposed to be. We're not even supposed to be in consistent anxiety and worry and fear. Like, if God didn't give us a spirit of fear, then why are we in fear, right? But I also understand the human aspect of things. When I come and I speak to you guys, I don't speak to you from some high on the top of the mountain. Like, I get the everyday of everything too. I want to say that. And I want to say the reason why I come here and speak to you all is not just from a coach perspective, because yes, I am a vision strategist coach. Yes. However, and I've gone through many things. And so when I come here and I talk to you, I'm talking to you from a standpoint of what I know has worked and not worked, but not just for me, but what I've seen work in my clients as well as other coaches. We all kind of talk together in our groups, and we talk about different case studies and things of that nature. So I understand it. And it's like, listen, I want you to hear today, if no one's ever told you, there is other options. Okay. And the number one option, this is why I named it Self-Love Sundays. Okay. And although I say Self-Love Sundays with Sass, is because it has to start with you. And I already know it. I can hear it right now. Oh girl, don't just tell us to love ourselves. That don't really work. Blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something that I know. I'm not guessing. I'm not thinking. I'm not talking to you from theory. The one thing that I know, because I had to learn this for myself as a mother who had 6 children, I have 5 living, who played all sorts of travel sports. I worked full time, still work full time, although I own my own business, right? So I'm talking to you. And listen, there was times where I worked two full-time jobs. So when I'm talking to you, trust, I just want to tell you, like, I'm talking to you from a place of I've been there. Okay. And only thing that led me to was almost a nervous breakdown. Okay. So listen up when I tell you that until you start putting you first, you're going to stay in survival mode. And you may be thinking, like, what are you talking about? Like, I have to put food on my table. You think I didn't have to put food on my table? 1000%. Okay. Society will tell you that we have to, work 15 million hours. We no, don't get no sleep. If you sleep and you don't make money and all this crazy stuff. The truth of the matter is, if you don't start taking care of you, you're going to be dead, okay, and or so stressed out and so burnt out you can't think past go, that you're not going to be able to meet the needs of the things you're actually in survival mode about. Like, let's just talk real today. Like, it's for me, I just want to like come here and have real conversations with real people who go through real things. Like, let's talk about it, right? And because sometimes people don't understand, there is another mode, right? And we don't always have to be in just I got to survive. Because I'm gonna tell you something that happens from a survival place. When you're in survival mode, that's when you tend to make bad decisions. You want to know why you don't trust people? You don't trust people because you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself because you're always in survival mode. And because so when you're in survival mode, you pick the wrong person, and or sometimes it's a man, and sometimes it's friends to be around. Sometimes you pick the wrong job. You start picking because you're picking from a low vibrational place. You're not picking from a place of faith. You're not picking from a place of I'm blessed to, or I get to, or I can choose to. You choosing from I have to. So when somebody feel like, oh my God, like I have to, I have to, I have to, oh my, like you pick from the wrong place. And so you end up in relationships or around people that don't serve your highest good, that is not in alignment with where you get to be. And then you wonder why you're still in the same place and doing the same things around the same people and still not happy and not fulfilled and still, listen, on the wing of hope and the prayer, okay, and hoping for a scratch off lottery ticket when there are other options. But the thing, and it's not but, and the thing is, I need you just to stop for a second and recognize where these trust issues come from. Why am I talking about this? Is because this has been the nature of conversations lately. And people would talk about, well, I don't trust, different people. I don't trust groups. Listen, you don't trust yourself. I said it. You don't trust you. Because when you start to trust you, let me tell you what you're going to start to trust. You're going to trust that anybody that you choose to be around, if they're not in alignment and they don't serve your highest good, that you can walk away from. You're not going to spend 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2, 4, 5, 6 years trying to figure it out, because you trust yourself enough to say, if this is not in alignment with me, this doesn't serve my highest good, then I'm going to continue to ascend and grow on and continue to grow and develop myself, and those people get to fall away. That's what it is. It's not about trust. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to give somebody you meet the keys to your house, the keys to your car, in the code to your bank account. So when you talk about trust, it's like, oh, should I be around these people? Well, here's the thing. Trust yourself enough to know that you can get to know people. And if they're not in alignment, it's okay. It don't make them good, bad, or ugly or different. It just means they're not in alignment with me, and I get to choose something different and I get to be somewhere else. But stop putting yourself in isolation and then saying, oh, everybody else in the world is bad. Oh, I have to be isolated, or I can't be around other people, because you're in survival mode and you don't choose great people. And then it's like, oh, it's everybody else. No, you're not getting to where you need to be. You're not making the connections that you get to make because you don't trust you. So let's talk about it, because here's the thing. We can grow to trust ourselves. And I say it all the time. The biggest scam is most people's mindsets. I want to start with this. I had to learn that I had to start investing in myself and in investing and putting myself in communities. And that's how I got some of the best friendships I've ever had. And people be like, what? You pay? You pay for friends? No, I didn't pay for friends. I paid to put myself in a place. I paid to invest in me, my personal growth, my spiritual development, I paid for my professional development, right? So I paid to go into communities. And what happened was I met like-minded people who were on the same trajectory of me, who wanted to grow, who wants to learn, who wants to have more. And so we became friends. It was like, okay, here's my group of like-minded people. Like, follow that, right? Where's your group of like-minded people? And maybe it's not in your neighborhood. None of the people that I talk to live in my immediate area at all, nowhere near, really. I think the closest person may be Maryland, right? And that's like 2.5 hours from me. So this is what I mean. Like, you got to trust yourself enough to say, you know what? I'm going to start investing in myself. Why am I starting with investing in yourself? Because when you're in survival mode, what you need is a community. And you need a community of people that can help you change your perspective, get a fresh wind. Because sometimes you're sitting in survival mode and you're like thinking about these needs and you don't even realize all that you have. It sometimes takes somebody else to point out the things that you have so you can breathe, right? And so when you start to breathe, then you can get into alignment with, you know what I'm saying, like where it is and what it is that you desire to have, right? So let's just get into it, right? And it's because understanding when, like, why you're in survival mode and where are you in survival mode is crucial, because it's going to help you recognize the limitations, truthfully, in the places of your thinking. And you may think like, what do you mean I'm limiting my thinking? I'm trying to put, like, because I'm hungry. Dude, when you're in survival mode, you don't even think clear enough to think, where is the first place that I can go to even get a meal? Like, real talk. Like, real talk. And I know it's hard to hear, and I know you think it's like fluff, but I'm telling you what I did. I'm telling you what I have done. Like, just imagine like budgeting $322 a month. And sure, you got food stamps. You think $322 a month goes far? And I had an apartment. Like, I had an apartment. Like when I first started off, listen, the government definitely gave me a hand up, not a handout, a hand up. It's what I needed. It's what I needed to help me get to where I am today. There's no mistake in that. And that's the other thing too. When we start talking about how to get out of survival mode in different ways to think about, in different modalities, here's what I want you to think about. A lot of times you're not like moving on things. And again, it all boils down to, you don't trust yourself to make the next call, to look into a community, to look into a coach, to look into therapy. And you may be like, well, I can't afford that. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you about the power of intention. When I started getting intentional about what I truly wanted in my life, what I truly desired, where I wanted to be, things started showing up in my life like I could not believe. And like I said, the first step, and I talked about this in previous videos, so I'm not going to keep going back to it, but the first step until I had money was I read books. Listen to me, not just any book, not just every book that somebody recommended, but books that was going to help me to grow and develop my mind. First of all, the power of positive thinking, because what happens in survival mode is you got a lot of stinking thinking going on. We was actually talking about lizard brain today, and that is when your mind, it starts like projecting all sorts of fear and anxiety, like all these thoughts come rushing to your brain. And we were talking about, ways to even get control of that. And what that is truly stinking thinking. Right, you're trying to do something positive, and all of these bad things come over. Why am I doing this anyway? And what is it all for? All of that stuff comes rushing to the front of your brain. And you don't realize, some people don't realize that's a very human thing. We actually call them a lizard brain. You can look it up on YouTube. They actually have like a 2-minute short video about it. But it's stinking thinking. And so that's the first thing that you can do. When we start talking about survival mode, let me back up for a second. The first thing is awareness, because first of all, recognizing that you're in survival mode allows you to acknowledge your current state and its impact on your decision making and emotional well-being. What am I talking about? How are you feeling today? Have you breathed today? Are you consistently keeping busy, being busy, doing busy, and not accomplishing anything? Are you consistently procrastinating? Are you up and down an emotional roller coaster? 1 minute you're like sad, next minute you're completely angry. If you don't know, ask the people who live with you. If you don't know, ask the people who live with you. That's how I found out about me. That's how I found out about how I was being perceived by my kids. And I'm not talking about my from an entitlement standpoint. Like ask them really how you show up in your household. How do you come in the door from after work because you're on a job that you don't like? And let me tell you something. I understand that. Like it's not like at this stage in the game, I'm actually looking to release myself from corporate America. I get it. Not all the time you're gonna like the job that you want, but it's the job that you have. And so we have to make the best of that. I understand that. But what is something that you can do between the time that you leave the job and the time you get home so that your family can have a person who is present, not a person who's tired and just frustrated and aggravated, so they don't even get no type of love from you, and you expect them to know love and to go outside and behave and be respectful and have love, but you don't even show them that or give them that. Like, I need you to think about it. Real talk, right? And I'm speaking from a person who lived that and had to hear that. And the one thing I do value in my kids' honest feedback, because kids are the honest, most honest people on the planet, is it helped me to tap in and not just get triggered by they say, but by what they were saying to me, but actually really look at it and say, okay, this is their experience of me, right? So how can I look at this differently? What is some of the things that I can do, right? So that's the number one, is being aware. The first thing you want to do, and some key reason to understanding survival mode, is number one, become aware of where you are. And most people can't become aware is because they're not present. It's like you have to get present. The second thing is getting clarity, right? Okay, understanding survival mode helps you differentiate between immediate needs and long-term goals, right? Why is this important? Because it's going to help you to prioritize, right? What is it that I immediately need versus what I want? Because sometimes we're in this state because I want to be someplace different than where I currently am, right? So it's this comparison, like, oh, I should be in this place, or I should have this much money, or I should be able to do this, and I should, and I should, and I should, and I should. So you're shoulding all over yourself. And so you're never happy with where you are. Okay. So we have to get clear. Like, this is why I created the Sass roadmap. And if you don't know what that is, I need you to go back and look at last Sunday's video, and I actually give you the layout of that, right? Because we have to get clear. What is it that is the immediate needs versus long term goals? Because most times people are meeting their immediate needs. It's just that they feel that they should have more of something. Or, right? Like it's, or it should be just in a different place. Well, I'm in my 40s now, so I should have this much in retirement. Well, let me tell you something. I'm in my late 40s and I don't have that much in retirement because I was a single mom, taking care of my home, making sure my kids play all their sports. And if you know anything about travel cheer and travel softball, okay, that's where my retirement is. Okay. All right. And if you know anything about college tuition, that's where it is. And I understand that Susie Orman said don't do that. However, Susie Orman didn't come from where I came from and had my parents end on my background. So I did what I did. And this is where I take ownership. And so now what it looks like for me is prioritizing saving for that now. It's never too late. It's how you look at it. Okay. And that's not my advice to anybody to tell you to do it that way. If I had it to do all over and do it differently, there was a way that I could have actually put more away for retirement. I did put some away, but it's not nearly enough as to what I would like it to be. Okay. So the next thing, by acknowledging that you're in survival mode, it's going to help you can develop strategies to help you manage the stress, anxiety, and fear, right? And so, what am I talking about? I'm talking about enhancing resilience. And if you don't know that you're resilient, here's what I need you to do. I need you to think back at a time and a place where you had something really difficult happen in your life, right? I need you to go back to it was a particular point in time in your life where something like was not going the way you wanted it to go. How did you get through that? What did you do? What tools, what techniques, right? How did you get over that? Because a lot of times when we're in this mode, we don't realize we overcome so much. How did you do that? That's resiliency. Okay? How did you become resilient in the face of whatever adversity you were feeling? All of this is important. Not pray and hope that you're journaling. And when I come to talk on these videos, y'all, I know we just having a good old conversation and it's just me and you talking. Hey girl, hey, or hey boy, hey, right? What's going on, fellas? I gotta get deep on y'all, right? I understand that, but I really want you to leave from this and grow and take this. And even if it's something that you feel that you've heard before or whatever, I'm gonna ask you if you heard it before, what have you done about it? And have you done anything about it? And how many people have you shared it with? Please pay it forward and share, right? All right. So the next thing, right? Moving beyond survival mode, like when you start to do this, it enables you to focus on personal growth, goal setting, and thriving in various aspects of your life, like relationships, career, and your health. And let me talk to you because I want to talk to you a minute about health. I went through a program called Life Mastery by one of my all-time favorite mentors, Tony Robbins. Okay. And he talked to us about health. And we don't even realize that when you're going through stress and anxiety and all these things, how it messes with your digestive system, right? And so what we learned is 80% of our immune system is found in our gut. And so if you're finding that you're consistently sick or not feeling well, I'm going to suggest to you to go get your gut checked. Now, listen, this is not coming here. I'm some doctor, take my word for it. No, but it's another aspect and another way of looking at things, right? And sometimes your traditional doctor is not going to do that and or think about that, right? But here's the other thing. 95% of serotonin is found in our gut. 95% of serotonin. Serotonin is your happy hormones. Think about that. So, if times that you're feeling distressed or stressed out or anxious, what are you feeding yourself? How are you taking care of your health? Because what I know is about being in survival mode is most times we're not taking care of us. We're either binge eating, binge watching, binge drinking, binge sexing, or binge drugging. I don't know where you fall on this. And I'm here to tell you that you can change this. Number one, you have to want it. People don't change when they need to, they change when they want to. And here's the thing so there's three main relationships, okay? The first relationship is with self. The second relationship is with others, and the third is with God. And I'm gonna tell you right now, one and three should come first before the others. All right. And you got to take care of yourself. Like if you hear this and you've heard it all before, then why are you not eating fresh fruits and vegetables? Don't tell me about costs. I was a 322-month welfare mother. I promise you, my son ate healthy. I promise you he did. And even after I got past that point and I got married, my husband didn't have a lot of money. But let me tell you, they told me that my daughter had ADHD, and so did her brother. Let me tell you something. With the little bit of money we did have, those kids ate healthy. I took out sugars. I took out dyes. They didn't get all the Capri Suns. They got more. They received more water. Right? And they actually changed. They couldn't watch as much TV. I took away their tablets and I gave them books. What does books do? They make you slow down, and this is why many of us, even as adults, need to get back to reading. And I promise you, I'm actually about to do this for myself. So I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to me, right? It helps you to slow down. You have to focus on the word. A lot of our reading comprehension skills are not great anymore. It's because we're not reading. We're steady staring at a screen all the time. And it's even different reading on the screen versus reading a book, actually giving yourself a moment to sit and do that. And listen, to those busy moms and dads, I hear you. I know what you're going to say. You think when I went into the bathroom, my kids, and especially my youngest son, wasn't busting down the door, Mom, whatever was going on? Yes, that absolutely happened. And here's what I had to do. I had to get help. And I know I can hear it right now. Oh, there's no one to help me. And I'm going to look you in your face in this camera and tell you lies and fake news. What it is you don't trust people, and you don't trust people with your kids. And I can understand that. But this is where you get to build community so that you can start to trust someone outside of yourself. That's exactly what I had to do. I moved to a place where I had no family, and I had to build that, and I had to grow that, and it worked. Okay. So you have to get help. It is help of community is so important. And you have to get outside yourself. You're going to keep hearing me say that. Because here's the thing. Your health Your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your physical health, that is going to be the thing that's going to take you from surviving into thriving. And that doesn't mean when we're thriving, like everything is peaches and rainbows. No, it's just prioritization of self. And it doesn't mean getting selfish. It means maybe getting a babysitter for 2 hours and you taking 2 hours for yourself. Maybe it means them staying in the after school program instead of rushing to get them. And I know this is going to sound bad, right? If the program is till 6, maybe instead of rushing to get them, you give yourself an additional 30 minutes in your car, riding, listening to YouTube meditation. And they have car riding meditations on YouTube. Look them up and just giving yourself a minute to come down. So when you pick them up from the program, you can greet them with love, and you can greet them with hugs, and you can greet them with, hey, how was your day? And let's talk about all the beautiful things. And it just is a different experience altogether. Okay. So that's why I wanted to literally talk about health. You got to take care of your body. You got to get out. You got to walk. Here's the thing. They recommend 15 minutes a day. What can that look like? It can look like you walking out your door, setting your timer 7 minutes. And when the timer goes back off, walk back home. Okay. What could it look like doing jumping jacks in your living room? What could it look like doing squats in the living room? What could it look like you watching a television show, and while you're watching that show, doing commercials, jogging in place? Move your body. Why am I telling you to move your body? Because when you're in survival mode, you have energy and all like trauma building up in your lower back, it's building up in your knees, it's building in your neck and your shoulders. So what are you doing? You're moving that energy. And so I'm going to talk to you about what my mentor likes to call the triad, and I actually love it and I use it, and I pray that you do too. So what the triad is for is anytime you find yourself in a state, whether it's a state of survival, a state of fear, a state of stress, a state of less, in lack, or depressed, whatever that is, right? These are the three things that you can do to immediately pull yourself out of it. Number one is physiology. And what that is talking about is your body. That's when you can just take 5 minutes, I don't care if you have 2 minutes, take 2 minutes, turn on your favorite song. I don't care what it is. Hopefully it's something upbeat and uplifting, right? Whether it's women's empowerment, whether it's men's empowerment, whether it's we are the people, we are the world, I don't care. Whether it's gospel, whatever it is, it needs to be something that's upbeat, something that makes you feel like you're going to win the day or the moment over. Turn it on. Dance. I don't care if you got to be sitting in your chair, hands in the air, waving like you just don't care. What are you doing? You're moving your body. And I really don't want you to sit. If you can, get up and walk. Listen, even if you have to go into the bathroom in the office and just kind of like walk around, give yourself a minute, or walk around the building. Just get up from your desk, go in the elevator, go downstairs. And as you're going, I want you to take nice, deep breaths. More than a conqueror. No weapon forms against me shall prosper. I get to have a beautiful day. No one will ruin this for me. What am I doing? I'm getting up, I'm moving my body, and the number two thing that I'm doing is I'm changing my focus. Instead of focusing on the problem, I'm focusing on a solution, and I'm telling myself who I really am. If I just made a mistake, what am I doing? I'm changing to say, guess what? I am not my mistake, and all people make them, and it's okay. I can correct this. I get another chance as long as I am breathing, living, and going. I can correct any mistake. I don't fail, I learn. I'm tired of it. I'm like, I understand everybody's like, well, you have to embrace failure. Okay. But all that's saying is you have to embrace the fact that as long as you're living in this life, you're gonna learn. We all learn. And some of the best lessons have been when things didn't go the way we wanted them to go and they didn't work out. Period. Some of the best lessons. We don't want them lessons, nor do we like them lessons, nor do we appreciate them. But I'm telling you, they bring about the biggest blessings. They do. They bring about the biggest blessing. Okay. And so that's the third thing. I'm changing my language in the meaning to things, right? So instead of, saying I'm stressed, overwhelmed, and fearful, I start thinking about what I'm grateful for in the moment, right? I'm grateful for sound mind. I'm grateful that I can get up and move my body. I'm grateful that I don't have to just sit there and take it and listen and hear. I'm grateful that, you know what, although it's not the food that I necessarily want on my table, I have food on my table. I'm grateful that my body can move. I'm grateful for fresh air. Find the smallest things. I don't care. You choose it, but you're going to change your language. So, number one, physiology, move that body, move that body. Health is wealth. Move your body. Nobody really like, I ain't gonna front. There's some people who love to work out, but a lot of people don't love to work out. But here's what you'll never hear them say after the workout. They hated it. They don't. Listen, they have workouts that are 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Just go on YouTube and find something. If you don't have an opportunity to go to the gym, get up 10 minutes earlier. Just do the workout. Do the workout. You know why? It's gonna help you de-stress. And when you de-stress, you're gonna digest better. And when you digest better and you're taking care of your organs and your health, guess what? It's going to allow you to live longer. And when you live longer, what you're going to understand is that you get to make a different choice than just feeling like I need to survive every day. You're going to understand that you can breathe. You're going to understand that everything is always working out for you if you continue to tell yourself that. You're going to understand that there are going to be better days. You're going to see that joy does come in the morning. Now, it may take 3 mornings, but it's going to come. Okay? Because I ain't going to never lie to you. All right. I'm not saying it's instant. I know we live in a microwave popcorn society. What I'm saying to you is, though, it will come. But you got to move your body. You got to take care of yourself. Okay. Everything can't be fried, dyed, laid to the side. Listen, I see all the videos of all the food. Everybody want to stuff a tub of butter and a tub of lobster and a tub of this. I get it. But here's what I want you to do. Can you at least say 80% of the time, I'm going to eat healthier? What that means is, and listen, even if that means you don't have a lot of money, okay, that means chicken and vegetables versus in grilling the chicken or putting it in the air fryer versus frying it. You can't tell me that fried foods are cheaper than grilled foods. Like, come on, stop playing with me. I lived that life. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me water is not cheaper than juice. Like, you don't have to have the juice. Like, real talk. Throw some of that sugar out. Like, so when we talk about cost, at this point, everything is expensive, right? And I'm not saying that you have to go in the grocery store and get organic. If you can, that's great. If you can't, Tony Robbins says, what's the alternative? I'd rather for you to have a piece of fruit than none, right? So get the fruit and just clean it. I like fresh fruits and vegetables. You want to eat clean, eat things that die quick, not things that store. So you may have to cook a little bit more and put some food away in a container so you can have leftovers, right? But it's okay. Listen, use the brown rice to stretch the meals. Use the quinoa to stretch the meals, right? And just be mindful of how much you eat, and that's that. And then on those days where you want to splurge, say you want to take a Saturday and you want to hang out and you want to have fun, do that. But if you can, cut back on the alcohol. If you can, push it down to maybe 3 nights a week with wine, do that until you get to the point where you can have none. If you don't ever want to not have none, I don't care. I'm just telling you that when you're in survival mode, those are the kind of things you gotta move away from because they're not healthy for you because you're stressed and you drinking. Not good. Not good. I know sometimes it feels good, but everything that feels good is not good for you. Okay, just trust me on that. Everything that feels good is not good for you. And this is why I talk about emotional intelligence so much, because once we start to understand our emotions, we'll get that too. But that's on another video, and I promise you, if you go back and look at between January and February, I talked about that then. But let's talk about ways, and let me give you some strategies, right, to help us move out of this survival mode. Number one, prioritize self-care. I talked about it. You listen, it's not about money. Mindful practices, exercise, all the stuff is free today. Real talk. There's somebody on here. She's on YouTube and it's called Grow with Joe. She does phenomenal exercise videos for people who have knee problems. If you're just a beginner, it's free. It's on YouTube. Just subscribe to her channel. Adequate sleep. Let me tell you, they talked about you need to get anywhere between 7 to 9, if you can, or more hours of sleep. And I know this world will tell you, sleep is for suckers. Let me tell you something. Sleep is not for suckers. That's the time your body is repairing. That's the time when you could be stress free. Now, listen, I understand that sometimes, listen, I'm in menopause, so it's hard, right? Sleep, right? But you have to find the thing that works for you. I like to, I do magnesium and I do calm. Calm is really, really great. Instead of winding down with wine, okay? So that's something that you can look into. We talked about meditation does not always mean sit and it doesn't always mean that. They have so many different meditations. They have body movement meditations, which is some of my favorite. Sound healing meditation, one of my favorites. They have guided meditation. So many different things that you can look into to prioritize you. And I'm not telling you that it has to take forever. Do you know they have 5 minute meditations? They have 5 minute, and I think there's even 2 minute meditations on YouTube. 5 minutes. If you cannot find 5 minutes, I'm telling you, you're full of it. I'm telling you, you're full of it. Even if it's if you're driving a car, even if it's riding your bike. Okay. Yes, they have moving meditations, right? It's not all about sitting still, right? It's about being focused in the moment. Even if it's just you walking outside, it's a meditative state when you walk outside and just taking all the beauty that's around you. And when I say blue, look at the trees. What do you notice about the plants? What do you notice about the grass? What do you know about the bugs, right? That's a different type of meditation. So that's number one. Number two, you have to start setting clear goals. Smart. These goals should be small things that are leading you to wherever it is that you desire to be. If you want to learn more about SMART goals, you can check out my video from last Sunday, as well as I have a book. It's a accountability tracking workbook where you can track your goals. It's found on Amazon. I'll have the link in here for you. It teaches you about SMART goals, how to break it down, and how to literally journal on your goals every single day. That's important because, again, you want to assess where you are so you know where you need to head or what you may need to pivot on. Okay. Not going to go into that again. There's another video for that. So you have to get clear on it, because here's the thing: when you have a sense of purpose and direction, it's going to help you to say, I don't have to be so stressed and crazy and anxious. I have a plan. When you plan to fail, right? When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so you're not getting to where you want to be is because you don't have a plan. And then you don't move on the plan and you start this procrastination. And I don't trust this and I don't trust that. And all of it's fear. You're scared. And you're going to have to do this scared. Okay. You're going to have to do it scared. How you get from here to there, you're going to have to leap. You're going to have to do it scared. And if you can't do it alone, you need a community, you need a coach, you know where to find me. Email me any info at mosass.com. Message me on wherever you see this and we can talk about it. Next, mindset shift. You are going to have to work on your mind. The mind is terrible. The mind is negative. You have to work on that thing every single day. The same way you brush your teeth, you're going to have to work on your mind, because when you work on your mindset, it helps you to embrace the challenges so you're not so stressed and feeling crazy and all over the place. It helps you learn from your setbacks, because we don't call them failures. They're actually opportunities for growth. And it helps you to recognize where there's opportunities. This is why you got to work on your mindset. It'll help you get grateful. It'll help you see things from a different perspective. It'll help you reach out for help, because we all need it and no one can do this alone. It'll help you stop being so scared. Instead of being behind the computer screen all the time, just scrolling, looking at everybody else's life, it'll help you get more in tune with yours. And you'll start to feel more fulfilled and love your life when you start to work on your mindset and set these goals and take care of you. All right. And if you run around here taking care of everybody else, still playing the martyr role, it's old, man. It's old. Throw it out. If we're still playing victim, it's old. Throw it out. And so, what do I mean by victim? So, a victim is someone who doesn't believe that they have any other choice, right? So, you have to throw that out. So, this is why it's important to work on your mindset. Next, support system. I talk about it all the time. Surround yourself with a supportive network, whether it's friends, family, mentors, professionals, anyone who can offer you encouragement, guidance in a different perspective. Because sometimes we just need a different perspective. That actually happened to me earlier today, because I'm actually in this phase where, God is like drying up everything at this point in my life, because I know it's time for me to go to my next. And I've been in my feelings about it, just kind of like thinking about, just everything, right? And so just talking to some of my friends, it really, and here's the thing about the friends again, because we were in the same group and because we're on the same trajectory and because we are like minded, they helped me to be able to shift, not help me sit in it like, yeah, girl, it's all bad. Like, you don't need that. Okay. We need truth. Let's not get that twisted. We need hot conversation that's honest, open, and transparent. Don't get that twisted. However, they are very encouraging and they tell me things with love. So when they give me criticism or they're telling me to shift or to get out of my feelings, I don't take it personal because I know it's done in love, right? Because of what we've cultivated. And again, I paid to go to that community to meet these people. Okay. I didn't know I was going to meet them, of course, when I paid to go in the community, but that's what happens when you put yourself in different atmospheres and you stop seeing yourself as a person. No one told you have to be the person to take care of everything and do everybody. That's something that we sometimes we don't choose the role. However, we can choose to stay in it and or not. You have a choice. It's called the power of choice. But what you don't get to do is keep saying, well, I have to take care of everybody and do everything for everybody else, but then you don't want to change it. Now, that's kind of like that victim mode, right? I don't get a choice. Okay. You absolutely have a choice. Okay. And the choice in because I'm gonna talk to my mom's like, you know, what do you mean I have no choice in my kids? No, you do have a choice. You have a choice to still do things for yourself and still be able to take care of them. Yes, they come first, 1000%, to a degree, to a degree, right? Taking the mindfulness step, taking 5 minutes to breathe, that's not taking away from them, and it's not taking a lot of time, right? So I want you to think about it from that perspective, and that's continuously learning. Stay curious and learn new skills and perspective and experiences. So how can you do that, right? So aside from joining the community, I talked about it. Find books. Find books on things that you're interested in. Read something that's going to help develop your mind. Look up people like Jim Rohn. Look up people like Les Brown. Look up people like Miles Monroe. Look up people like Eric Thomas, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. Look up people like Priscilla Shire. Look up people like Sarah Jakes Roberts, right? Darius Daniels, Keon Henderson. Those are some Christian beasts. Abraham Hicks, for those who are in Love the Universe, right? Bob Proctor. These are some amazing, amazing souls. Start to look them up. Start to listen to some of the things on YouTube. This is something that you can do when you go to sleep. I have this thing that I bought from Amazon. Literally, it just goes on my head like a headband and it allows me to listen to sleep meditation. So listen to a sleep meditation, right? So those are some of the things that you can do to help yourself get out of survival mode. Listen, I really hope and pray that something I said to you today will help you shift, because that's what I'm here to do, to help you shift. And if you want to reach out, info@mosass.com. You can look at my website, www.mosass.com. Pick up any of my literature if you so desire to do so. I've written a book, Finding Your Way, 7 Ways to Love and Heal Yourself, as well as a journal. If you don't have to buy a thing from me, pick up a piece of paper and a notepad and start journaling. If you're feeling anxious, you're feeling, like fear and anything, stress, I want you to start journaling some of those feelings out so that when you finally get into those communities or you meet those people that you can have those conversations with, then here's the thing, you can already kind of assess, this is what I'm feeling, this is why I'm feeling it, because you've written those things out, which is absolutely amazing. Especially if you decide to get a coach or a therapist, you can talk through those things, right? Stop trying to sit in there and do it alone. We were not meant to do this alone. So I thank you, and I hope you have the most amazing, amazing Sunday, and I will talk to you next week.